Hey guys, what is going on? It's 10:30 on the dot, so we're starting right on time. So gave you guys, I started the stream about 10 minutes ago, just about 10 minutes ago exactly now. So hopefully that gave some time for people to kind of find their way in here. I'm sure there'll be some other people kind of joining as we go along, but those of you who are already here, good morning or evening wherever you are. Most likely it's probably a lot more of a good evening for most of you. But it's morning here, so I'm ready to build this. I was up late last night getting it ready because I really wanted to stream build this today rather than having to wait until Monday. So how's it going there, everybody in the chats? Cam, what's going on, buddy? Ryzern, Agent Man, Hex, Speedball, Miming, Richard, Savage the Lord, Fictious, Ryzern, Epic Gamer. There's a lot of you in there. So, hey guys. And on Twitch as well. How's it going, guys? And a couple people watching there on Facebook as well. Patrick is here. So let me just say that right away. As you guys may have noticed in the title, we're doing a giveaway as well. Patrick there in the chat on YouTube was very generous and offered to, he reached out to me and wanted to do a giveaway. So I suggested, Barbatos is the newest, biggest, hottest thing that everyone wants. So let's do a Barbatos giveaway. And so I thought it'd be fun to do it here live on the stream. So I'm not going to tell you guys quite yet. You just have to watch when that's going to be. But sometime during the building process, I'll let you guys know how we're going to do the giveaway. So just watch on. And because right now there's about 100 or so people watching. I assume maybe a little bit later there'll probably be a little bit more. Some people will come and go, so I'll have to mention that again probably a couple of times. But yeah, a little bit later on in the build, a little bit closer to the end probably, I'll let you guys know how we're going to do the giveaway. Basically, I'm just going to do like a kind of quiz thing, and you guys have to just be really quick to type your answers, so just be ready a little bit later on. So if you need to go out and come back or something, it's probably going to be a little bit. So with all the parts already all prepped up here, man, my first impression, guys, just from going through the parts and getting everything ready, it's a pretty parts-heavy kit. There's a lot of parts there, and there's not a lot of big parts. There's a lot of little parts around everywhere because a lot of the armor, the armor is kind of very fragmented. It's not a super armored up suit. It's got a lot of visible frame, so it's just got kind of little bits of armor here and there, and because it's an MG, it's actually separated into little bits of armor everywhere. So, yeah, there's a lot of parts with this kit actually. So that's pretty cool. If you like, a pretty lengthy build, pretty parts-heavy build, there's quite a lot in here. Seems like, so that'll be nice. And if you didn't mention, or if you didn't hear to the end of my unboxing video, I did mention at the end of the unboxing that I'm planning on painting this up straight away. So I've actually, I didn't have time to get everything ready last night, but like this lower half, basically the torso, the waist section, and the legs are already also a little bit sanded, a little bit prepped. I'll probably have to go back and do a little bit more, but kind of what my plan is to just do kind of not like super sand every single part like I normally would do, but because I want to do this relatively quickly, and it's a very parts-heavy kit, I'm just kind of doing some initial sanding, and then my plan is to build it all up, and then which what we'll be doing now, and then I'm going to give it a coat of primer. I'll do it in a video. I'll show you guys in a video. Just like a thin coat of primer, just to help see any imperfections and see where else needs to be sanded more or whatever, and also that it will help me identify which areas, especially of the frame, will show and which parts won't show, because the frame itself is also quite complex. So as much as the frame that I don't need to disassemble for painting would be good. So like just spraying the kit once it's all built up and not disassembling anything, just spraying it like that will help me just see very clearly which parts of the frame and which parts of the armor will show on the outside. Then I don't need to worry so much about areas that won't end up showing at all. if that makes sense. So I'll talk about that. We'll do a work in progress video, obviously, a couple of them probably over the course of the build, because it'll be a little bit of a complicated build just because of how parts heavy it is, and it's very detailed, so we'll have to do a lot of detail painting, masking, and stuff. So yeah, that will be in the work in progress video. I'll talk more about that. But for today, we're just going to be building it. So, like I said, basically the torso and the lower half is kind of already has a little bit of sanding done on it. The upper half, I'll have to go back and go back in and do that a little bit later after building and doing the review and everything. And disassemble some parts and go back in and do some of that. So it's all good. So we're starting off with the torso. And how are you guys all doing today? A couple other updates that I should let you guys know about as we're getting going here. And again, I'll probably have to repeat this a little bit later on for people who come in later. About the 100,000 contest, my 100K contest, that is pretty much all wrapped up. I'm just waiting on the kind of results from one of the judges just to give me his feedback. If you guys don't remember, I'm getting kind of a second opinion from different judges, a different judge for each category. So I didn't forget about the contest or anything. Yes, the contest results will be coming out soon. Just need the kind of the final word from one of the judges. So the contest will be coming, and then also Japan coverage of GBWC. All basically for on Sunday, the GBWC day. It was a lot to cover in that day, so I'm splitting it into 3 separate videos, and I would need to post them all at the same time. So they're pretty much all done except for one little bit at the very end of the last video. There's a short clip with Meijin Kawaguchi. He was kind enough to speak with me, so he kind of essentially gave me a short little speech, like 2 or 3 minutes, something like that, which I want to get translated for you guys. So just waiting for the translation for that, and then those videos will be ready to post. And then I will have one more video aside from just what I covered at the GBWC event. Just some other kind of typical sort of Japan shenanigans. So there will be Japan videos coming, if not later today, certainly this weekend. So yeah, that's, I think, the main things I wanted to update you guys on. Contests results are coming, Japan videos are coming, probably all of that coming this weekend. So the frame of this is pretty, like I said, it's parts heavy and seems a bit complicated of a build, so I'm going to really have to pay attention to what I'm doing here. Not to assemble anything incorrectly, of course. And these piston parts are really cool as well. I like these. So probably what I'm thinking at the moment, most likely, is I'll just be keeping the piston parts as they are. I won't bother repainting them. They're already like silver coated, and they don't have nub marks. Like the nubs were at the ends of the parts, so there's no visible nub marks on the piston parts. So I'll probably just keep that. I won't bother repainting them. Keep those silver as they are. Alright. I will have to remove them. We'll have to be sure to remember to remove them before I do the priming stage, though, as I mentioned. So this part, I mean, I can already tell it's a much more complicated build compared to the 1/100 scale kit. So I still think that the 1/100 scale kit is a perfectly good kit. I still like it, and I think it's still a nice one. I can already tell you guys that there's no question in my mind that this is the better kit in everywhere. Unless they like comes together and it's just like a super floppy mess, which I'm not anticipating. That would be the kind of only way that I would say, yeah, you know, maybe it's not like all that great. But at the moment, it seems pretty great. So I can say with confidence that it's going to be a nice one. It's going to be The best kit of 2019? I'm not sure, but I'd say it's likely to be on the list at this point. I can already say that, but again, don't know yet. I'll have to wait. So as always, guys, if you have questions for me, about the build or just about anything else, I suppose. If you have questions you want to ask directly, just feel free to just tag me in your comment or just put your comment in all caps so that I can see it clearly. Gunpla Noob asks, do the runners for the inner frame say IBO frame? They don't say IBO frame. Gunpla Noob, I mentioned this in the unboxing video. They don't say IBO frame, they just say Gundam frame, but if I remember correctly, right? Gundam frame. Anyway, they didn't say IBO frame. Yeah, I was expecting that as well, actually. But it didn't say anything like specifically IBO. I think it just said Gundam frame, so. But obviously it's going to be reused for different IBO Gundams. Where is this part that is missing? Oh, it found its way into the wrong part of the container. Alright. So and a lot of these just little parts, which are also. This is cool. What can I use to show you guys properly? Oh, oops. Pick that up. Here, this kind of like turbine part spins in there. That's for, what's it called? The reactor thing for it. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's just free in there. It can be rotated like that. Pretty cool. Summer asks, will you be getting the RG Ava kit, and do you expect them to release other units? Yes, and yes, I'll surely be getting the kit, and I surely expect them to make different units, for sure. Hi, what would be a good airbrush for beginners that doesn't cost a lot? I would recommend spending a little bit of money on an airbrush. You don't have to get like a $200, $300 one, but at least around $100 would probably be good. I use an Iwata Eclipse that I really like, but also I think Mr. Hobby brushes, as far as I know, are pretty good. In Japan, you guys will see, I also have a Japan haul video, which is not a super epic haul by any means, but one of the things I did buy in Japan was a new airbrush, a 0.5 millimeter, so it's a larger size airbrush, and it is by Mr. Hobby. But yeah, I would just recommend not getting the absolute dirt cheapest airbrush that you can find. On that note, though, actually, let's see, where is this part? Oh, there we go. One other, actually, I do have a super cheap, like dirt cheap airbrush, because there's one that I found online, and it was on sale. It's like normally like $20, and it was on sale for like $14 or something like that. Or anyway, it only cost like $14, but it looks like an alright brush, so I just picked it up just basically for the sole purpose of just doing like a test video on it. So just doing a video just testing out a $14 airbrush like that. I've yet to make that video, but the airbrush is over there, and it's on my to-do list. I think that'll be interesting to see how that compares, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Whew. This thing. You really have to pay attention to what you're doing here, building this frame. It's like a little bit complicated. One of these. Okay. Here. What? Like that? What? Okay, this little piston needs to be in there, like between these two parts sandwiched together, but it like doesn't really stay in there just as it is. So you kind of have to like hold it in. I'm gonna have to like hold it in place while I'm pushing these parts together. It's gonna be kind of tricky. If you guys ever built the 3.0 Master Grade 3.0 Gundam, then surely you remember putting the elbow joints together on that kit. Because it's kind of a trick how you have to hold couple different parts, like little tiny parts together while you push parts together to make the elbows for that kit. Anyway, that's what this was just like to get this little piston in the back here. So anyway, there you go. And yeah, the little turbines there rotate on that. So pretty cool so far. Pretty interesting. All right. Done with page 1. Next, let's see, we've got this little shorty going to there. And we'll pop this down to here. So this is when this bends forward. Oh shit! Oh yeah, the front pistons aren't connected to anything. When this bends forward, there's 2 joints. Anyway, so he'll have a piston on his back that will move. There's kind of 2 points of articulation to rotate the top and bottom half of the torso forward. So the bottom joint doesn't move the piston at all, but the top joint will move that piston in and out. Interesting. Okay. And then we have the lower parts for that. Well, this is kind of similar to the 1/100 scale kit. So just pop into there, and the opposite one. Oops. So a little nub I missed on this one. Blue Falcondor asks, will you miss teaching once you go full-time with you guys are Gundam Store? Well, I am already full-time. I have been for 5 weeks. And so far I don't really miss teaching yet. But I think like in general I kind of always will, because I did enjoy it. And I like especially like enjoyed just being with the students. Students, you know, anyone who has been a teacher, I'm sure you can relate. Like students aren't always, you know, great, but I didn't ever really have many days where I left school thinking like, oh God, I don't have to come back tomorrow. That almost never happened. So, sorry. This part here, gold part on the front of the chest, you can see has the sliding gimmick there. We'll put the armor part on top of this. You can see the holes on the top where the armor part will fit on top of the gold part here. But you can already see the sliding cockpit hatch there. Like that part already slides up. Yeah. Being a teacher is not fun all the time. I like any job, I suppose. But I certainly did enjoy it, and I'll surely miss it. But then again, I can't complain about the at all about the position that I'm in now. So I don't think you guys will ever really catch me saying like, man, I just miss being a teacher. Not in that way. Do you use enamel paint or acrylic? For most of the painting I use lacquer with my airbrush, and then I use acrylic paints for painting in little details and stuff. I do not use any acrylic paint. Not to say there's anything wrong with using acrylic paint. It's just me personally, not what I use. It's kind of interesting how you have like the whole torso here like frame, and then this part, which actually is like holding the cockpit, actually fits down on top of there. So there you can see when the cockpit opens up just a little bit, you can see the top of Mikazuki's head inside there. So then this will then fit down on top of here. This plugs down into there. And I gotta tell you guys, just first page and a half here, it's a pretty arduous build already. Let's see, this is this side. Okay. We got pistons here, one there, and one up top here. Is that right? Is that correct? This piece over the top of that. Piston, yeah, those pistons are just kind of barely held in there. And I seem to have misplaced one. Once again, it popped over into the wrong space there. And piston here. Piston up there. This part, I'm going to cover that up. And these doodads to hold the pistons there on the top of the torso. Here and here. There and there. Let's click down into place. Revan asked, how's the build so far? It's complicated. It is. I feel like I don't want to keep saying that again and again because I'm probably at some point going to be like kind of overselling it, how complicated it is. But as you guys know, I build a lot of kits, and what I keep thinking as I'm building this kit is it's a pretty complicated build. So I think that probably counts for something. The fact that I just keep thinking that. You know, if it wasn't a kind of complicated kit, then I wouldn't just keep having that thought, I think. Alright, then we're building the neck part here. Right here. But for how much of the inner frame is like showing on this kit, how much of the inner frame is really kind of part of the design, that they kind of had to do it really nice, right? They had to really trick out the frame, make it super cool. So, not knocking Bandai, saying it's too complicated or anything like that. I'm digging it. It's a nice change of pace to have a build that's actually, you know, I actually have to think a little bit rather than like, because a lot of like anything, even other master grade kits and stuff at this point, it's like, can build it without really paying too much attention. But this one is very unique. Though, yeah, I'm like, even compared to the, obviously compared to the high grades, it's much more complex, but, and compared to the 100 scale kits, it's just a very different feeling. Like, building the real grade unicorn is a good example. Building the real grade unicorn is a really great kit, as you guys know. But building that, it really just feels like you're building, for the most part, just a smaller version of the MG, or the PG, more like a much smaller version of the PG, actually. But this one doesn't feel like I'm building a larger, or just like a larger version of it would be the one on this scale. It's the same, but anyway. It doesn't feel the same at all, is my point. So that's cool. Then these guys will fit over the top of here and click into what? I missed a step. Oof, careful. Okay, these ones go here. Here. Let's pay attention to what we're doing here. Here and here. Man. Dang. Alright. Phew. So that is all of the frame for the torso. All that's left here is just some of the armor, as you can see. So, man. Lee, is it V2 complicated? Honestly, I don't really remember the V2 build that well because I kind of blocked it out. It wasn't in, like, the V2 build just seemed complicated without being fun. This one is pretty interesting. It's an interesting build. I'm enjoying, I think, more than I enjoyed building the V2. Let's see. This part. See, this part, though, I don't really like. This part around the neck. Because where a lot of times you'll see this with ankle armor parts, where you have to kind of like stretch the part to get it across. It like plugs in on both sides, and you're meant to just kind of stretch the part a little bit. And I'm always nervous to do that because once the part's painted and stuff, you just if you stretch the part a little bit hard or too much and break it, then that really sucks. But anyway, there we go. That's on anyway. Then put the vent parts in to the white parts. Like that. This is cool. Behind the yellow parts in the vents, there's a white part in behind there, which I think would be cool if you painted silver or something, right? But there's like the vent detail inside there behind these yellow vent details. That's pretty awesome. Those will then slide onto there, and then put this part over the top to lock that down, right? Right? There we go. That's on. And play. Missing something? Am I missing something? What is the problem? Oh. The holes have to line up there, so be careful. On the bottom side of this blue part, there's like these two little teeth that will fit down into here, but the white part doesn't line up maybe exactly how you would think. Like, you think it slides onto there, and then you think it should be like flush up against the center part, but actually not. It should be a little bit off to the side so that the holes line up for the little teeth on the bottom side of this blue part to fit down through the white part onto the frame there like that. There you go. Anyway. Pez de Candy asked, do you use a 3D printer? I have one that was sent to me a couple months ago that I've been testing out. I haven't been very successful with it so far, so I haven't really used it a whole lot. I've been super busy too. I don't really have time to learn how to use a 3D printer, like how to, I mean, I can sort out how to use it, but I don't like have the time or experience to sort out like how to troubleshoot it when it's not working. So, alright, last steps here for the body is putting these parts here on the side. Just fits on there pretty easily. Like that. The only thing that I'm worried about with this being as complicated as it is the stability once you start moving it around. And once you start moving it around and trying to pose it and everything, is everything going to stay together how it's supposed to, is my only concern. So we will see about that. Because you got a lot of like really intricately fitting parts, and especially with like all the pistons and everything. If you're like moving the torso around or something and you have a piston pop out like somewhere inside there, like the part pops out of where it's supposed to be, it's just going to be a pain in the ass to try to put that back where it's supposed to be. So hopefully that won't be an issue. And I really like how they used these clear pink parts for the kind of like power symbols on it, on the chest, the shoulders, and the knees. Those will look really nice once you've got some like silver paint up in behind them or something so they're like really getting that glow effect. That'll be really cool. Alright, so there we go. And the torso, or the cockpit hatch, should still slide open, right? Right. That's plugged on there all the way. There we go. Yes, that slides down. You can just only see like the top of Mikazuki's head in there, but he's in there, and that can very easily slide back too far. So where is it supposed to be? Something like that. There we go. It's kind of hard to know where that is supposed to be sliding back and forth, but that looks right. There we are. There's the torso done. Okay, set that off to the side. Alright, did you have any trouble cutting out the gold parts or the silver-plated parts? Winged Wolf, no. The silver-plated parts is just the pistons, that's all. And all the nub marks are located at the ends of the pistons, so you're not going to have any visible nub marks on those. And as for as far as the gold parts, they're just for the inner frame, so you're not going to really see them much anyway, like at all, once the armor's on, except maybe the parts like on the top of the thighs. But those parts, yeah, the nubs are on the side of the part where they're not going to show at all, so you won't have any issue with the gold or silver parts with this. Steve asked, do you clean up part shrinkage before painting? I'm not sure what you mean by that. What's part shrinkage? I'm not sure. In the meantime, we're skipping ahead in the manual. Actually, you're supposed to build the head and arms and legs next, and then the waist section, but I'm just going to build the waist section here first. So, got this center part here, and instead of any polycaps for this, we just have kind of parts that essentially look and act like polycaps for the most part. Plug up into there, and meant to rotate those. So the parts, little bits that will hold the side skirts. Are most armor parts undergated? Richard, no, most armor parts are not undergated. There was a little bit of undergating on a couple of parts, but mostly not undergated, no. Jay Coast asked, any paint job in particular for this build? Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas. But I'm not totally set on it yet, so I'm not sure. I'll let you guys know. I'm thinking kind of bluish, maybe? Yeah. Let's see. Alright. I think, why don't we just do this? I'm gonna keep track here on my phone, rather than just like for the master grade Barbatos giveaway, rather than just like a one-shot, like ask you guys a question and the first one to answer it is the winner. Uh, why don't I ask the question after each section of the build, and I'll keep track and just like the person who has the most points. So like if you are the first to answer 3 questions right, and maybe a couple other people only answered 1 correct, then you win. Let's do it like that. I think that'll be more fun. So I'll just keep track here on my phone for points for people. Let's see. Let's make a note here. Question 1. Oh, Which, okay, hang on. Which, what was that? I need to check. Before I ask the question, I need to check, make sure I know the answer. I'm pretty sure about it. I can't remember offhand. Just want to make sure that I'm not wrong. That would be embarrassing. Let's see. Right, okay, I was right. Just checking. All right, question number 1. It's going to be a little bit of a tricky one. You guys have to have been paying attention this past weekend. At the GBWC, which country received the special G40 award? There was 3 special awards. One of them was the G40 award. Which country received the G40 award? Watching. Douglas, I'm not building because I'm asking the first in a series of questions for the Master Grade Barbatos giveaway. Not Taiwan. The G40 award. Oh, this guy got it. Japan. Alright, this guy Parker. Alright, 1 point for you. It was Japan. It was the Japan junior entry. Got the G40 award. Alright, so this guy. Parker. Alright. Got you down for 1 point. There you go. Alright guys, so that's it. After each section, I'll ask you guys a question. So, stay tuned. Let's build this hip section, waist section, shall we? Okay, this part goes on here, and this part goes on here. Kind of interesting section here for the hips as well. So there's no hip gimmick of like the hips swinging forward and back, but the pegs where the legs will plug onto do move up and down like that. So a little bit different. I think this part doesn't have a front and back, right? No. Okay, so that goes on there. And this part onto here. Like that. Alright, and then our front skirt bits. Got this thing here. And these front skirt frame parts that will hold the front skirts onto there. Once we plug on there like that. I usually don't like this where you have like the frame part of the front skirt that you plug onto there first, and then later you have to plug the armor onto there, because it's kind of hard because you're pressing the armor onto there and it's kind of putting pressure on the ball joint there. It seems like I'm always afraid that something's going to break pushing on that part once it's already plugged in. I prefer to just assemble the whole front skirt part first and then plug it onto that. I don't like having to put on the armor later. if that makes sense. You guys know what I'm talking about. Uh-huh. That would go into there. Spidey83, the prize is the MG Barbatos. This kit, not this kit that I'm building, a new one for you that you can build yourself. So again, thank you to Patrick for wanting to donate a kit for giving away. So this kit that I'm building, of course, was provided to me by USA Gundam Store. So of course, thank you to them. But the kit for you guys, whoever wins, will be from Patrick. So yeah, so like these yellow vent parts need to fit onto the front skirts here, and it's kind of hard to get them in place when this part is already attached here on the front. But there we go. Then this part will fit over the top of there. Got a lot of layering. Here you got the frame, you got to put the black part on, red part on, yellow part on, white part on. It all comes together to look pretty good. Side skirts here as well. And it doesn't matter which version of the Barbatos, every single version of the Barbatos, and we're not really into the side skirts for them. This version is the best, I think, because they're just kind of small and simple for the most part, but every single version, they look a little weird, out of place. Especially on the Lupus, I'm really not a fan. But there go those. These things will just fit onto here, relatively simple. Nothing too crazy here, just some back skirts, but for anyone who's interested, the back skirts do move on their own, just like the front skirts will, except they aren't on ball joints, they're just on the rotating peg there, so you don't really need them on ball joints specifically, but those do move up and down like that. There we go, there's the waist section done. So there is that all done. All right, which means it's time for another question. Oh, and we've got a donation here. Sorry, I missed that. Let's see. Who is this from? My computer is really taxing right now, I can feel. From a different Patrick, not the Patrick who's donating the kit, but a different Patrick. What's up? What's your favorite series? Mine is the original. Mine's not the original. I have seen it. But my favorite series, I actually have 3, and it's a good timing for this question because I've said this on many occasions, what my favorite 3 series are. So for question number 2, I'll leave it up to one of you guys to answer that question. Answer Patrick's question. What are my 3 favorite Gundam series? The first person to put all 3 there will get the next point for the kit. And Gunpla Noob, by the way, shipping will be covered. Yes, you don't need to pay for shipping. You don't need to pay for anything. It's a totally free prize kit. For the next points for the free Master Grade Barbatos, what are my 3 favorite series? Zeta, IBO, Turn A. Nope. Nope. If you're a frequent watcher, especially my live streams, because I answer this every live stream. Lee, you're close. I do like G, but it's not my favorite. All right, there we go. Always Crashing, got it. There's a lot of you answering right away, but Always Crashing It looks like got it first with 8th MS Team, Turn A, and Unicorn. There you go. I do like G, and I like Advances Zeta, of course, but that's not an anime. We're just talking anime series. So we're talking anime series. For me, it's 8th MS Team, Turn A, and Unicorn. So always crashing. Nice one. Got it. I'll put you down here for a point. Let's see. If there's a tie, we'll have to have a tiebreaker, I guess. We'll have to see how that goes. I'm not sure. But hopefully it won't come down to that. I won't have to worry about it. I might be digging myself into a grave here with this point system, but we'll see. Yeah, the shipping and everything's shipping and cost of the kit, everything's covered, so don't worry about that, guys. That question always seems to come up though. If I was entering in like a giveaway, if I was not the one putting it on, if I was entering in one, I wouldn't think that I would have to pay for the shipping, but strangely, usually every time I have a giveaway, that question always comes up. Someone always wants to know if they win, if they have to pay shipping. Is that a thing? I've never experienced that in giveaways that I've seen, but maybe it's a thing and I just don't know. Never heard of 8th MS Team till right now. Douglas, you've never heard of 8th MS Team till now? Well, finish watching this stream first, and then go and watch 8th MS Team if you can sort out, legal means to watch that. I'm not going to suggest watching it through any illegal means, but find some way to watch that. Alright, so obviously we're building a leg next. If you can't, most of the parts aren't very recognizable probably, but this front part of the leg should be pretty recognizable, so that's what we're going to do next here, the leg. Yes, paying for shipping is a thing. Big companies do it for giveaways. Well, that's kind of dumb. But I guess, like, Riser, if I was entering in, like, some contest to win, like, a computer, like some, like, badass $3,000 computer or something, I wouldn't be too bothered, like, having to pay, 60, 70 bucks for shipping or something like that for something that expensive. But for this, Lee says 8th MS Team is on Hulu. There you go. You can watch it on Hulu. Spidey, yes, you were very close there. Unicorn 8th MS Team, yeah. Very close. Sorry. But don't worry, we still got, so in total, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There'll be 9 questions in total. We've done 2 so far, so don't worry. Got time. And I think usually with these live stream builds, I'm trying to keep it around 2 hours, and usually ends up just being around 2 hours. But I think for this build, it's probably going to take a little bit longer, because we're about at an hour right now, and just about at an hour now. We've only built the torso and the waist section so far. Alright, it's okay. I've got time today, but this was like my first priority for today. So the Japan videos are pretty much all done. Just need to get the translation for that. Otherwise, we're pretty much good. Gunpla Noob said, bad Gunpla makes you pay for shipping outside America if you win the prize. Ah, okay, well, that I can understand a little bit more. If you're located in the U.S. and having a giveaway and someone wins outside the U.S., shipping, it costs a little bit. I can understand that. But for me, shipping internationally has just always, as long as I've been doing giveaways, shipping internationally has always been a thing, so I'm just kind of used to it. Usually, like, for a kit, unless it's, like, something big, usually, like, international shipping is going to cost around $20, $25, $30 max if it's a pretty bigger size kit. So it depends on what I'm shipping. If it's like the prize is like a simple HG, then paying that much for shipping does hurt a little bit. But otherwise, I think that's not too bad for international shipping. And fortunately, here in Korea, we do also have the option of shipping via this ground mail. So like super slow. It takes like over a month to get anywhere. But it is the cheapest option. But usually I found that just like sending it like unregistered by air is not that much more expensive, and it gets there much faster. So usually I just end up going with that. It's worth paying just a little bit more just to not have someone waiting for 6, 7, 8 weeks. They'll get it just in 2 weeks instead. Alright, there we go. So there's our foot frame. Very long feet there, and got little toes sticking out. Shout out Korea. And on Twitch, anyway. Let's see. I'm not sure how to pronounce Geek Scraps. I'm not sure how I should pronounce that name, but thank you for subscribing over there on Twitch. On Facebook, this has probably been a little ways back now. Zach, how are you? Didn't know you had a build going on. Yep. Yep. Alright, leg frame. Then we need, put the foot aside for now. And we need that part, which we put together for the hip joint. And this part will plug down into there. This plugs inside here, inside the thigh armor, thigh frame, and then this part will plug on top of that. Here it is. The thigh frame like that. Okay. Oops. I was supposed to put a part in between there. No wonder that looks like there should be something there. This part in here to receive a piston. Like that. Alright, and then this piston into here. And onto there. Into there. That will line up down here. And the opposite side. Where did I go? There it is. Into there. So you have this piston here on the back of the thigh, kind of back top of the knee. There, like that. It looks nice with the gold parts and the silver parts, even if you're not painting it at all. I mean, the little nice shiny bits of piston and little tiny bit of gold that you'll see like on the top of the thighs will look good anyway. So that needs to go down, and then we got this part in here for the knee. Knee joint part is that one. That's right. Okay. Like that. Onto there. Oops. And we need this part. Into here. Like that. That's going to be the connector for the sliding part on the back of the leg. I see. Like that. Okay. And this part onto the back of there. Whew. The hose parts. Let's see. How's the A little bit of a mold line on the hose parts, but it's really not that bad actually. So that's good. Those would plug up into there. Hoses on the back of the leg. It looks like there's plenty of room for those to kind of move around a little bit in there as well as you're moving parts of the leg around. So that's good. And then we've got this part here. That will go there. And that gold part fits onto the front of here. That will go through there. Fit into there like that. Yeah. Man, guys, no joke. This is a complicated build. I don't know if I'm ever going to come across any Gunpla build where I'll not recommend it to beginners because it's that complicated like this. I keep mentioning how complicated the build is, but it's not to the point where like, oh, I don't recommend this kit for beginners because it's that complicated. Like, just follow the instructions, you can figure it out, but it's definitely got a level of sophistication over a lot of stuff that I built recently. Which is nice, but I need these parts to fit in there. Something's not fitting right. Let's see. Where is it? No, something's still not lined up right. It looks fine. What's the problem? Everything looks right. Probably that part. Yeah, there we go. Yes, there we go. Always Crashing asks, are you a fan of Sid Mead's designs? Well, I enjoy Turn A as a series. The designs in general, actually, you know, especially his original designs, like not the versions that they actually adapted and used for the anime, but like his original designs, I'm not really too into that, no. But like what they ultimately ended up with in the anime, I do like pretty well. So there is our leg frame. Yes, certainly a lot more complicated than the non-grade 100 scale kit. No doubt about it. Alright. Oh, that's not right. That's part for the side of the leg. No wonder that didn't fit. There we go. That goes onto there. And we're going to put it on later, I guess. Okay, fine. These parts. For the sides of the leg. 1, 2 of these. This is going to be a fun one to paint, I think. I'm looking forward to painting this. And it's just because it's got a lot of detail. So, like, you didn't even have to do a bunch of customizing on this thing. Just paint it up really nicely, and it's going to look really good. Especially just going in and doing all the detail work. Just bringing out all the details that are already here on the kit, and it's going to look good. There's a lot here. A lot going on. This one here and here. Cover up that armor. Up onto there. Go. And this little bit here. Even this little bit here at the top of the thigh, which is a sticker on all the other versions. It's a separate piece here in this case. They made it a little bit different, and the designs changed a little bit, but that works. And you got the yellow vent there, and the pink part here. Like that. And then this part is going to cover up the whole front of the leg. Like that. Very nice. That clear pink looks fantastic in there for those parts. Very nice. this part here on the back. This will be the part that will move up and down for our leg articulation. Let me get the rest of the parts put on here first, and we'll take a look at that. And this part's up there. And on the other side, this one goes here. Goes fit into place. So these parts here on the side of the leg can also rotate. That's pretty awesome. I didn't know that that was going to do like that. So those rotate like that, and when you bend the knee, all kind of moves back like that. The part on the back of the leg moves out of the way. And that is pretty awesome. That's a lot of really cool movement in there. Kind of have to put everything back in place manually once you move it back, but awesome. Then, just finishing up the last couple parts here for the feet. That goes up onto here. And shoop in place. And this little red bit right there. Like that. Hold that in place. Very nice. And then this part just fits down right over the top of the foot. Like that. And it is all done. Now, here in the ankle, let's see. That part pushed down there all the way. Yes. Here in the ankle, it does feel just a little bit looser than I would like already here, this rotation at the ankle there. But can't say as to if it will really be much of an issue once the kit is, all totally put together. But at the moment, it does seem a little bit looser than I'd like, than I would expect. Everything else is pretty tight, but that little part there, just a little bit loose. Alright, so let's get this on here. There we go. Looking good. Yeah, definitely like, not all of the proportions of this, but some of the proportion changes they made for the Master Grade I like. I still think that the feet look too flat. I just would like a little bit more bulk there in the feet, because you have some nice bulk there in like the calf section, especially that part bulked out. And you have these feet that are just like perfectly flat. It just looks a bit odd for a Gundam. If it's like human foot, looks like it makes sense, like it's like how you would expect like human proportions, but on a Gundam it looks a bit odd. So that means it's time for question 3. All right. Shadow of the Moon commenting on the speed of my building. Just keep in mind I already did all the number removal and everything like that already ahead of time. So all cutting the parts out and all the number removal and all that was already done. So all I'm doing is just putting it together now. So that's why I'm able to do it a little bit quicker. Okay, all right, here's question number 3. Are you guys ready? Question 3 has to do with my name, my YouTube name. Anyway, not my real name, YouTube name, Zaku Aurelius. The latter half, the Aurelius part, is a reference to someone who was a master of which philosophy? The Aurelius part of my name refers to what type of philosophy? What branch of philosophy? Aurelius, I won't give you the first name, that's just the last name of the person. Mr. Aurelius was a blank philosopher. Who was he? Oh, Daniel, got it there. Daniel Blaney, Stoicism. There you go. Pixelman, Greek is not a philosophy. But good guess. He was, no, not Greek, it was Roman actually, but there you go. Stoicism there. Daniel, got it? Alright, let me get Daniel's name down. I hope it's not a tie with just everyone coming with 1 point each. That'll be tough. But hopefully someone will get 2 questions right, so then at least, there you go. Yes, Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. That's why his book, or the book which is a collection of his writings, is one of the very few surviving original Stoic texts, because a lot of the earlier works were all destroyed. I can speak English. So, which is why, I mean, he was a very prolific figure of the time in general, but I mean, why he's especially regarded as one of the very important names in Stoicism in general is because we actually have some of his writings about it. And I highly recommend any of you guys to read that. Read his the book Meditations if you guys have never have. It's very good, I think. Alright. Get this other leg built up. And if I can find the piece that I'm looking for, there it is, it's hiding. Go there, and then this little guy on here. Here. Like that, okay. And then the foot frame, it's not that one, but this one, this one, here and here, this one. Now, I've waited quite a long time, waited over an hour at this point to ask you guys, but I should ask you guys, how's the video quality? The framing, the lighting, everything is looking pretty good as far as I can tell here on my screen. The video quality looks good. You guys can see everything all pretty well. I want to make sure that you guys can, if you're watching, that you can actually see what you're watching. So let me know if everything's looking good for you guys. Looking and sounding good also on these streams. I'm usually not using my actual mic, my good microphone. I'm just using the built-in mic in my computer, and it seems fine for just the streaming purposes. If you guys think it would be better to use the actual good microphone, then say so. Or is it just well enough as it is? Douglas, the fan is blowing. That would be just the fan of my computer. So are you guys hearing that? Should I plug in the actual mic? Shadow of the Moon, bye. There's static in the background. Okay. Alright. Okay. If the fan sound or if the audio is bothering anyone, let me know. I can plug in the mic. I just haven't yet. Not for any particular reason. Just, I guess, lazy to pull the cord from there to there to plug it into the computer. this frame, put all that aside. And we need this guy, and this, and this. This one like that. And into there. This go up here. Close this up. There we go. Revan asks, Zach, is there any potential for you to streaming with Master Kawaguchi in the future? It's like streaming like here at my house, probably not. But like at some event or something in the future, it's possible. I could do a live stream with Kawaguchi. Yeah, possible. If there's one thing, hang on, where am I? Over here. There's one thing I can say about Kawaguchi after meeting him a handful of times now. He's a very friendly guy, and whatever you ask of him, he's very willing to comply. Because I think like it's his job, right? When he's at events and stuff, his job is just to be the ambassador for Bandai and just to be a cool, friendly guy with the attendees of whatever the event is. So it's typically a GBWC event, usually, of course. But so yeah, if you go up, if you're at an event or whatever, if you just go up to Kawaguchi, just say hi, ask for a selfie, whatever. He's always very willing to oblige. Yeah, it's a cool guy. Very kind of chill guy. It's definitely not someone that anyone should ever be like intimidated of. But on that note, I will say he does have a pretty like. Oftentimes he does have a pretty like stern demeanor. So like I can see like maybe why at an event he may not like have the most friendly look on his face. But despite whatever look he may have on his face, he is really friendly. I mean, but I just wonder if he was like busy or something, or like I don't know what exactly he'd be busy with, but if he was like doing the judging at an event, like, you wouldn't want to bother him, and it'd be pretty obvious that he's busy doing the judging because he'd be walking around with his judge clipboard or whatever. So, but I don't know if there was some time when he was like actually like busy doing something and didn't want to meet with anyone. I can't imagine that like if you approached him, he would be like, "Oh, go away, I'm busy," just because like he's still Japanese, and that just like wouldn't be very Japanese of him to say it like that. But no, I think he would, even like if he was busy, he would still be cool and be like, "Oh yeah." Because at GBWC this past weekend, I was just getting footage like during the setup time. Like once everyone's done setting up, they start judging straight away. So like the judges are over there like starting going as soon as everyone's set up. So everyone had finished setting up, and we were still like just kind of hanging around before going out to lunch. And so Kawaguchi came over, and or he was just around already doing his judging and stuff. So I was just getting like a couple of video clips of him and a couple of the other judges like just doing their judging, but he kind of like looked at me like out of the corner of his eye, like fuck off, I'm judging right now, like, and I think because he's got his clipboard too, like where he's writing on the scores, so like I didn't want him to think that like I'm trying to get a look at the scores he's writing down, you know, because I was trying to like position myself in a way that it was obvious I wasn't trying to see his clipboard, what he was writing down, but still I did kind of feel like I got the feeling that he didn't really want me to be recording him at the time, so I wrapped that up pretty quick. But I just wanted to get a cool shot of him just like while he was doing the judging, you know. So I did, and then I got out of his way. But, on the other hand, the other judge, one of the other judges, like the judge from Hobby Japan, he didn't even seem to notice I was there, which is kind of interesting. He was like totally engrossed in judging, and he was like with his like assistant or something, a different guy. I'm not sure who it was. Like they were talking about the build or whatever. So I think they were kind of busy doing what they were doing. It's good. So didn't really seem to notice me there recording them. Alright, now I'm noticing one issue about this is why I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I had this issue with the 100 scale non-grade as well. Because of like the odd angles of everything and like the feet as well, like when you're trying to get it to stand, it's hard to get the feet perfectly flat down. So usually when he's standing, he's got a little bit of a wobble to him because the feet aren't perfectly flat. You really have to kind of work with the feet a bunch to get them perfectly flat on the ground to get a nice solid stance. But there is the second foot done. Alright. Oh yeah, Vincent, that's a good point. I should have got a shot like of Kawaguchi holding the clipboard in a way so that it could be made into a meme, showing some picture of, you know, some whatever, people will fill in the blank or whatever like that. It would have been good meme material. Okay. Let me ask a question just regarding Gunpla in general, not related to me. Let me think. Okay, here's a question. Probably a little bit of an easier one. But anyway, I'm not going to all be super hard questions or anything. So, this would be question 4 now, right? Question 4, you guys ready? By the way, Douglas, it is not Grey Goose in my cup. It is coffee. Question 4. What is the scale of the high-grade mechanics dendrobium kit? High-grade mechanics dendrobium kit is in what scale? Imagine this one should be pretty easy to answer for you guys, but let's see who's going to pop up first. JV, it's not 144, not 1 to 200. IR Joe's, got it, your 550 is correct. It's 1 to 550, but yes. That is correct. I'll accept that. You just put 550, you didn't have the 1 slash, but that's correct. IR Joe's, I'm not exactly sure how I should read that, but IRJOE 5. There you go. RJOE 1. Yes, it's 1 to 550 scale. The high grade mechanics version, not the HGUC version. Castaway Films, yes, any info on the contest? Yes, I mentioned at the start of the stream that the contest results will be announced soon. I'm just waiting for one of the judges to give me his picks for one of the categories. Yes. Danielle, there's two different versions. There's the high-grade mechanics and the HGUC version, right? Alright, guys. Let's build the head. Should be a pretty quick build, and we'll have another question up right after that, so just hang tight. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions left to do, so still plenty of chances. But still, no one's yet got 2 questions right. So watch carefully. If you can get 2 of the 5 remaining questions correctly, you can still win. Yeah, the clear green part in there for the eyes looks very nice. So that's looking good. That goes in there. And this one here. And close up the head. We could put the parts on the face, like the kind of parts there for the face first, but it actually has you build it without those parts on the face first. And there's all the head inner frame, pretty simply. It's got the foil stickers for the eyes. I'm just going to leave them off for the time being, I think. Yeah, let's just leave them off for the time being. Alright, then we've got the face part and some very delicate parts here for the face. This part is just not only just a super delicate shape, it also has the vents of the front of the face actually cut out as well, so it just seems very easily broken. And then the little chin strap beard will go on there like that. And then little vents, little tiny yellow vents in the side of the head. Here. And close that up there. And the color separation, it's like part separation on this kit. Like I said at the start of the live stream, it's a very parts heavy kit, and so like every single little bit of color separation is really nicely done. So looks fantastic. Where does this part fit on there? That's right? Like that? Is that correct? Seems so. And this part fit onto the top of here. And there. Like that. Is that right? Yes, seems so. When this kit was first announced, and for a while I was not really into how the V-fin was looking on it, but we'll see how it's looking here on the finished kit now. That looks a bit odd. Is that right? Oh, it is right. The white part on the above the V-fin also seems like a little bit kind of higher than it's supposed to be. Oh, there we go. I didn't have it plugged down all the way. But there we go. I think the V-fin looks alright though. It's not too big. It's big. It's definitely got that boomerang V-fin. But there you go. It's pretty big. Alright, so the head was a really quick build, so let's have a difficult question again, shall we? I'm not sure how. I go like super difficult so that you guys will just have to be like guessing that probably no one will really know, or not that difficult. Let's see. I also don't want to ask anything that I don't know already know the answer to myself, so it's a lot of things I'm thinking, oh, that would be a cool question, but actually I don't know the answer, so that's not going to work. Hmm. 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 I'm not going to ask you guys my favorite color. All right. And I also don't want to really give a kind of unfair advantage to people where you're located geographically. But let's see. Hmm. Oh, I just noticed it's uh, not related to the question I'm going to ask you guys, but I'm just now noticing that today's Friday the 13th. Interesting. Okay. All right. So question. Hmm. This is a harder one, but this is something I have also answered many times before. So if you've been following my channel for a long time, and especially if you've seen a handful of live streams, you should have heard the answer to this question at some point. But what was the very first Gunpla kit that I built? My first Gunpla kit. I've answered this in old work in progress, in the old uh, frequently asked questions. No, frequently asked question video. I've answered this, and I've answered it in many a live stream. What was my first Gunpla kit? You guys are saying in the chat that it's lagging a bit. Sorry about that. There's not much that I think I can do about that. Anyone want to take a guess? You want to know offhand? Oh, is it frozen for you guys, really? It's completely frozen. Oh no. Okay, it looks like some people are answering, so it's not frozen for everyone, it seems like. Some people are answering the question, so apparently you heard it. Yeah, if anyone hasn't heard the question, if it's been like laggy or something for any of you, the question is, what was my very first kit? You'll need to specify not just the Gundam or mobile suit that it was, you need to specify the grade and the scale as well, because that's also important. This particular kit is available in multiple grades and scales, so you'll need to put the grade, the scale, and the name of the mobile suit in order to get the question fully correct. You guys don't know? I don't think I've answered this recently in like the past few live streams, because I think it's been a little while since anyone's asked, or it's usually something that when it's asked, I can answer it just straight away, and I don't really hang around on the question for too long, because there's nothing really too interesting necessarily about it. But so far, you guys are answering, but no one's got it quite yet. It's not the Wing Zero. It's not an HG Zaku. Oh, there you go. Jagan got it. Yes. The 100 scale HG Shenlong. Jagan is correct. I know. Jagan's often in here in the live streams, so it makes sense that you would have heard it. Jagan, you're right. The HG 100 scale Shenlong was my first kit. As far as I can remember. That could not actually be correct, but as far as I can remember, that's what it was, so that's usually what I say when people ask me. So yeah, there you go. So still got 4 more questions. Got 2 arms, the backpack, and the weapons. If there's a tie at the end, I think I'll just keep asking questions until someone wins. That's what we'll have to do. So, if you haven't got a point yet, there's still plenty of chance for you to win. And just a reminder for anyone who, or not a reminder, but just to let anyone know, anyone who's coming in later, maybe missed what we're doing with the questions, we're giving away a Master Grade Barbatos, a new one, of this same kit. And after every section of the build, yes, Jagan, you're the real one. After every section of the build, I'm asking a question to you guys and keeping track. And at the end, whoever has the most points will be the winner. I like this. I think it's not, I don't know if this system is going to work out too well, because like I said, I think we're going to come to the end, it's just going to be a tie of everyone having just 1 point each. Hopefully someone will get 2 points in there, so we don't need to have any sort of tiebreaker, but whether it's working out or not, working out well, smoothly or not, I'm enjoying this quiz style of doing a giveaway. Justin X, thank you for your contribution there. I appreciate the heart, eyes, face. Over on Facebook, Alexander is watching from Belgium, so excuse you for your English. It's okay. I understand, yes, that not everyone is also a native English speaker, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky for those of you who aren't native English speakers to enter in the giveaway, of course. I realize, yes, but not too much that I can do. You need to write these answers down? No, you don't need to write the answers down. You're not going to need to know after we're done. All right. So, like with everywhere else on the kit, we've got pistons here in the arm as well, but just one on the back of the arm, which in all other versions of the kit was not an actual working piston. It was just kind of there. It's like a kind of dummy piston, just there for detail. But in this one, we actually have a working piston there. I think in the past hour and a half, I've probably said the word piston more times than in the entirety of my adult life. Alright, that fits down to there. Snap onto there. And here. Alright. Let's see. This part is a bit odd. It's towards the back. Like that. There we go. Alright. And this part down to there. And this part onto the front of here. And there's the frame for the arm. Very nice. Ooh, and even that little part moves. It's going to be kind of hard to show you guys, but you can see there's the part on like the forearm here. Move this out of the way. The middle part of the forearm, so you can see these tubes running down the back side of the forearm here. When this is completely straight, when the arm is completely straightened out, that center part actually pops out a little bit. So you can see how those tubes kind of pop out. When you bend the arm, they kind of fold. They kind of disappear down into there. Here, I guess you can see if I do it like this, maybe. You can see that part will move like that. Pretty cool. Very interesting. Alright. Then the hand. The hands are also pretty nicely designed, how they all have a hinge at the wrist. Everything. Bandai didn't get lazy with the hands on this kit at all. We've actually got options for open hands, closed fists, and holding hands. So not only are the hands nicely engineered and nicely detailed, but we've got some good options for those. And they're swappable fingers, which I prefer. Actually, I prefer, like, I would most prefer just a full swappable hand, but swappable fingers is the next best thing. So there's all the arm with the hand frame as well, and most times, like for most master grades too, like you'll need to put the hand cover on there to hold the hand together if you want to do just like a full inner frame. But if you wanted to do just the inner frame for this and have the whole hand all together like that, it even has frame for the back of the hand here before we put the cover on. So that's pretty awesome. We've got some really little tiny parts in here that will cover up different parts of the arm. That one there, and this one up here. Upper arm, and these down here. These do have a front and back. Which one is the front and which one is the back? They're ever so slightly different. That one just goes there. And this one, I guess, goes here. Yeah, okay. So those fit. They're very slightly different, but they do fit on there in a very particular way. So that's good. You got that little part like that, and then these parts will fit over the side to cover the side. So you've got no seam lines or anything at all. Everything's all separate pieces. Got a lot of little tiny parts to paint. Let's see, this blue part. A lot of tiny parts to paint for this kit, but again, once it's painted, this thing's going to look really nice. That's a bit unsightly. Is that how it's supposed to be? Yeah. Alright. Ricky B, what did you miss? You missed most of the build so far, but there's still a good little bit left. Got the shoulder parts here. Now, from when this kit was first announced, when we first had our first look at this kit, one of the things that I have complained about the design was the seam line on the shoulder here. But I can now see that they've maybe changed it. I don't think it was like this when they showed it earlier. This was just like a seam line down the middle there, which there is still a seam, but they've engineered it with this really wide panel line there. So I don't think that was like that in earlier versions. It was much smaller. It was like a 0.5 millimeter or something. Like now it's like a 1.2 millimeter. It's definitely much wider panel line there to hide the seam line. So okay, I can be alright with that, I suppose. I still think they could have engineered this part to not have any seam line in there at all, but if we gotta have one, I think the way they did it turned out alright. And again, especially because this pink part is on top of a white part in the knees, the clear pink part is on top of the frame, so it's got a dark part behind it. It's not quite as bright, but here you can see the difference. With this part here on the shoulder, there's a white part behind it, so the clear pink is much brighter there on the arm. So it's a big difference depending on what you have behind the clear parts. And there is the arm, and that is done. We'll plug it onto here. There we go, pops into place. Looks good. His thumb is backwards. It's painful. Very nice. Yeah, this thing is looking really good. It feels a bit rickety in the ankles a little bit, but I don't think it doesn't feel like it's gonna fall over. It just doesn't feel like its feet are super flat planted on the ground. So I mean, like it's wobbling a little bit, but no, looks good, feels good, and that means it's time for another question. I haven't been thinking about it. I've been just focusing on building the arm. So, would you consider building the non-grade Big O kit? Yeah, if I could find the Big O, like Bandai's Big O kit, if I could find one, it was a good price, I'd like to build it. But I don't think I've ever really come across one, and it was at a price that I wanted to pay for it. So, all right, no lagging, everything looking good for you guys. You ready for the next question? Yes. Because I'm ready to give you guys the next question, and it is as follows. The next question is, should we do something easy? I'll give you guys something easy. Maybe it's maybe too easy because there's only like 2 choices. But all right, this is a really easy one, so I assume it's going to take you guys about 1 second to guess because there's really only like a couple of obvious answers unless you get like super weird. But all right, question number whatever. I think it's question 6. We're on now. Well, let's say 6. What color is the Type K ball? So there's different versions of the ball, as you guys know, but specifically the Type K version, what color is it? Dun, 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 dun. All right. What do you guys think? No answers coming in. Yeah, I know there's a little bit of delay between me speaking and you guys and your return, but the not necessarily master grade, just the design in general. The Type K ball is what color? No one answering yet? Is there that? Oh, there you go. Pixel Man, the very first answer. Pixel Man 619 got it straight away. Orange. The Type K ball is the ball is featured in the beginning of 8th MS Team. Is orange, in fact. All right, so still everyone's just got 1 point each. Let's see. Indeed, it's orange. Pixel Man 619. All right, 1 point for you. Still 3 questions left before we need to go into a tiebreaker. So, hang tight. Let's get this other arm built up. We'll have another question. Oops. Try not to throw parts all over the place. Yeah. As you can see, there must be a little bit of a delay there. Tons of answers still coming in. Sorry, guys. If you guys don't know, one of the things that they do at GBWC, after the ceremony, there's the after party, and one of the things that they always do at the after party, and they do this actually at other GBWC events as well. When I've been to GBWC here in Korea, so just the Korean finals, not the world finals, they do this as well. They'll have a quiz. So I don't know if they do this at other countries too, if you guys are in the US or Philippines. At GBWC events, does Bandai have quizzes? But anyway, so at the GBWC, at some events there, and then at the finals, they did this as well. This past weekend, they have a quiz. But it was funny because like when they were doing the quiz, the question pops up and everyone's just on their phones looking up the answer. But they had some pretty good questions. They had some good questions in there. So it was pretty fun. Some of them, but they're using like visual aids for all the questions too. I'm just, obviously just asking you guys directly without being able to use any pictures. But maybe that would be something to do, something in the future. Could be cool. Prepare something ahead of time. And where is this part that I need? Huh? Hello? Oh, yeah, that's right. It looks weird like that. Okay, sorry. Yeah, maybe next time I'm gonna have a quiz. I'll prepare some pictures and stuff like that. Because Benda was asking, there are other questions are like based on pictures, like showing it's like cropped image of a kid, and saying like, what kid is this, or like this rifle belongs to what kid or whatever. So it's pretty fun. So here, and here. That. And then this one here. There. And here. And here. Henry asks, Zach, would you consider building the RE100 Gundam Mark III since the only one you haven't built? It's not the only one that I haven't built, actually. But yeah, at some point, it's possible I'll build the RE Mark III. I also didn't build the original Vigna. But I think those are maybe the only two RE kits that I've not built yet. Right? That could have been another question. Which RE kits have I not built? Would have been a good one, but okay. Then this component towards the front, wasn't it, right? Yep. A couple of questions. Raven asks, maybe Mechagai Kotsu's quiz, what's that Gunpla part? I don't really want to just copy something or someone else has already done, so I wouldn't really do exactly quite like that, but I did like that. I thought that was a good idea. I don't know I don't think he still does that. He did it like a couple times, but I thought it was a cool segment, and you should have kept doing it, in my opinion. It was fun, especially for those of us who kind of like grew up on Pokemon. It was a cool kind of nostalgia thing. Calamity Strike said, hey, what's the next MG IBO kit Bandai will release? Well, we don't know yet, but the Floros was the one that won the poll in Japan. But that doesn't mean that Bandai will actually stick with that. So we don't yet know. But as I said in the last Gunpla News video, I think we talked about it on the last live stream or the last Gunpla talk as well. Anyway, whenever I've talked about it recently, I would be very cool with it being the Gundam Floros. I like the design. I would transform it once for the review, but I would never transform it again after that. So I don't care for the transformation, but I do like just the Gundam design. It's cool. It has a very mean look to it, right? Good day, Zach. Can't wait to get my hands on this and make amends for the horror job I did on the full mechanics version. Flimburger, you are gonna love it, dude. It's great so far. I'm almost done, so I guess I can say with pretty good confidence that it's a great kit, but definitely, man, you'll like it. I can say it's a bit of a chore to build, though. I mean, not in a bad way, unless like you're the really super impatient type, but it definitely takes a little bit to get this thing put together. But personally, I think like a build that takes you a while to put together is really getting your money's worth. So I think that this kit is pretty successful in that way. Considering it's not a very expensive kit anyway. The list price is like 4,500, right? So for that price, you get a pretty good long build out of it. So I think it's pretty good. Kind of given up referring to the manual for the time being, because all these armor parts on the arm, once you've done it once, you've got the idea of it. Probably could have gotten by if you wanted to give yourself just a little bit of a challenge. It wouldn't really be all that challenging. You could have, like, once you got the frame built, the armor is pretty self-explanatory how it all fits onto there, if you're familiar with the design. But just in case, usually, at least for the first arm, I'll still refer to the manual, because you never know if there's like some goofy order. Some part needs to go on before a different part in order for everything to fit on there correctly. So still kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing. At least for the first one. Then you've got a feel for it, and you can put the other one together pretty easily. Alright, there's the other arm. Onto there. He's looking like a real mean boy. Revan asks, what YouTuber will you collaborate with in the future? Kurosama, Mekigaikatsu, Scott from Miniac. I've never talked with Scott from Miniac or Mekigaikatsu, so I never had any conversation with them. But I'm friends with Kurosama, and we've talked about doing collaboration stuff in the past. He's asked me about some ideas. I don't know if he wants it to be public or not, so I won't mention what it was, the idea that he asked me about, but he has asked me before, and I'm totally open to it. I'm very open to collaboration, just kind of with anyone, as long as something that is interesting to me. Hey, Aaron. Hey, what's going on, Aaron? I don't know how long you've been there. Yeah, it's no cocoa curry. Yesterday, last night, my wife and I and our kids, we were going out for dinner last night, and I was talking about what we'd eaten while we were there in Japan, and she asked me if we had a kokuichi curry, and I said, yep, twice. It was the first meal when I got there, and it was the last meal before I left. So, yes, that was good. But yeah, it's kind of everything in between, like Saturday dinner, Sunday lunch, Sunday dinner. That was like all with Bandai, so we didn't like have a whole lot of other. At least for me, for the limited time that I was there wasn't a whole lot of meal time options. It's like Friday lunch was kokuichi. Friday dinner, we had some meat, Aaron and I. Yeah, and then Saturday lunch, I didn't eat because I was hungover. And Monday lunch, before leaving, Monday lunch was kokuichi again. So Alright, we're going to build the backpack next, but I need to ask you guys a question, right? We built the other arms, so it's time for another question. And I had, actually, Patrick, the person who is donating the kit for the giveaway, suggested a question, so I'll go with the question that he suggested here. He suggested, what is the name, okay, you guys ready for the next question? This is question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Question 7. Yes. Are you prepared? Question 7. What is the name of the 3-part manga side story from Gundam Wing? There's a just very short 3-part side story manga for Gundam Wing. What is the name of it? First one to answer, get the point. Only a couple of points left before we have to go into a tiebreaker, so hopefully someone who's already answered the question correctly will get this one as well, and then that person could very well win. So there's only a couple left here. The 3-part manga side story from Gundam Wing is called what? It's not called Kimaris. It's not called, yes, it's not Endless Waltz, not Glory of Losers, nope. There we go, Tyson got it, Gundam G-Unit. Tyson Pierce got it there with Gundam G-Unit. That's correct. And still no clear winner. Okay. So we will have to go, probably, unless someone, there's 2 questions. One after the backpack we'll have one more, and then after the weapons we'll have one more. Someone who's already answered will need to get one of those questions right, or someone can get both of those questions right to win. But at this point, it's looking like we'll probably have to go into a tiebreaker, but we'll see. I need to take a break for a second. I need to go to the bathroom. So hang on a minute, then we'll come back and build a backpack. Yeah. All right. Zach is away. Post. I'm back. Don't post any heresy. All right. The backpack is relatively simple. As you guys know, Barbatos doesn't have really much of a backpack there. He's just kind of got a little thing. Got like a glorified lunchbox kind of strapped to his back. But of course, this master grade version of it is pretty complex, considering it's a pretty simple design. On the HD, it's like 3 parts, right? Is that right? Something like that. 3, maybe 4 parts in HD, was it? Huh. Yes. Gertz, of course, I'm the same. Anytime we're talking about G-Unit, I'm usually actually already thinking of the hip hop collaboration G-Unit. So being a G-Unit fan as well as a Gundam fan, it's always kind of up in the air which one my mind goes to first. Speaking of G-Unit, like the rap group though, share with you guys a interesting anecdote from when I was living in Japan. When I lived in Nagoya, I didn't go to a whole lot of concerts just because Nagoya obviously is not like when bands and especially obviously international ones come to Japan. Usually they'll go to like Osaka, Tokyo, of course, Kyoto maybe, but not usually, not necessarily Nagoya. So hang on just a second here. Tyson, thank you for your contribution here. Let me just answer your or read your comment here first. Just wondering if this kit is a good kit for a beginner. My brother wants a Gundam Barbatos kit, but I don't know what one to get him. Okay, Tyson, as I was, maybe you didn't hear, or a little bit earlier, I was kind of talking a little bit about this because this kit is really complicated. So even if you're a beginner though, I would still say you'll still probably be fine. But as I say, depending on the age of your brother, if he's a beginner and he's only like 10 years old, then maybe not this one. It's a little bit complicated, and he might just not really enjoy it. Both the HG and the non-grade 100 scale kits are both good, but I would say just go for the HG probably. If your brother is a beginner and he's also kind of young, I would say get the HG. If he likes the HG, then later on he can get the MG, and it's a very different building experience. He'll enjoy it just as well, building it a second time, even if he's already got the HG. So I would say get the HG. This kit is fantastic so far. I think I would definitely recommend this over the HG to pretty much anyone, but in that specific case, I would say. So anyway, as I was saying, I was living in Nagoya, and I didn't really go to a lot of live shows because there just wasn't really a whole lot of bands, either Japanese or international bands or groups or singers or anything coming through that were of interest to me. And then even a lot of times when they do, concerts in Japan are really expensive for whatever reason. So while I was living in Nagoya for a year, I think it was like the only one concert that I went to was Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks came, and that was pretty fun. It was a fun show. Like, it was really interesting. And, like, aside from the people who came with him, like, of course he had like his crew of guys like that were like traveling with him. But aside from just the people that were with him, I'm pretty sure I was the only non-Japanese person there. So it was pretty funny to be like at this Lloyd Banks hip hop show where it's just all a bunch of Japanese guys and girls all just like jamming out. So it was interesting. It was a very interesting experience. It was a good show. It was fun. I don't remember how much it costs. Okay. Yeah. If I had to guess, I think it was something like around $40 or something like that. This part goes onto here. Okay. Why is this not plugging onto there? And this part's kind of like really delicate too, so I'm really trying to be a little bit careful with this, but something's not plugging in quite right. Ah, damn. It's at that point where it's almost on, so I'm sure it's right. So, but it's also kind of really tight, so you're at a crossroads. Either you try to pull it apart and risk breaking it, or you try to keep pushing it together more and risk possibly breaking it, or at least getting on there so hard that it'll be even harder to take it apart later if it is not right. But anyway, it was right, apparently. I got it on there now. It's okay, but that was a little bit sticky. So that goes on there, and then this part goes into here. That covers up that. Okay, very nice. Covers up those little holes. It's like these parts in here that slide up and down had to fit in through the hole, but then this white part that you put on over the top of that then covers up that hole, so there's no way that these sliding parts could ever actually come out accidentally, so that's cool. Then we just got these parts in here. Got piston and everything, it fits into there, and it folds up, closes up. This guy, Parker, are you gonna do a live build of the MG Faz? Yeah, probably. I'm super excited for that kit, and so, I mean, it's gonna be a pretty long live build, but, yeah, I hope so. I hope to do a live build of the Faz, too. Why not? Let's turn it into an event. Let's see if I can get some giveaway or something related with that kit as well. We'll kind of turn it into a thing, or it could be like those 24-hour streams, just building that kit for 24 hours. It wouldn't take that long, especially if I've already done all the number move and everything ahead of time, but this part seems not totally pressed into there. Yeah, there you go, which is why it wasn't closing up all the way. There we go. That should now fit on there better. There we go. It's better. Like that. This side as well is a little bit not quite right. Righteous. So there we go. So then this will come off, and there's a little tiny tab at the end of the piston, so it kind of catches there, so it's not going to pull out all the way. You could pull it out all the way very easily if you wanted to, but well, like that, it's going to fall out. But just a little tiny bit there at the end does hold it in place pretty well, so you're not accidentally popping out of there too easily. It froze. Every time it lags, why are you saying it's a boomer Zach? Alright. So there's the backpack. It looks pretty cool, actually. I never really, like in the other versions of the Barbatos, never really been too into the backpacks. It just kind of seems like didn't really fit the design too well and just looks kind of tagged on. But I gotta say, this Master Grade version of the backpack looks pretty cool. I can dig it. I'm not a boomer. Okay, the audio is fine, but the video is lagging, you were saying right now. Okay. Apologies for that. I'll give it a second here for the video to catch up, whilst I'm thinking of the next question for the ultimate quiz. The last part we have to build here is going to be the weapons. For which we have an interesting mix of a lot of really big parts and a few really super tiny small parts as well. Okay. So, the next question is, Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right, just thinking of what the next question is going to be here. Oh, well, you guys are talking about the videos kind of lagging and everything as well, so it's okay. I'm just thinking of question, and the question is going to be something funny, or cool. What could it be? Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay, we'll go with this one, which also. Okay, we'll go with this question, which is also probably not a very difficult one because there's not a whole lot of options that it could be. So even if you're guessing, it won't take you long to just guess the answer. But again, if you've been a fan watching for a long time, then you surely should know the answer anyway. So you guys can all, the video may be lagging still a bit, but you guys can still hear me all right. Correct? Yay or nay? You hear me well? I can go ahead and ask the question. Yes or ness? Because I'm just going to ask it now. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Yeah? All right. So we need some, yeah, we do need some Jeopardy music. That'd be good. Especially those of you guys who have answered one question correctly already. Get ready, because there's very limited chances for you still to get two correct answers, which would make you win, and we don't need to go to a tiebreaker, hopefully. All right. Okay, so the next question is going to be, who is my favorite Gundam Girl character from Turn A? So, as you guys know, Turn A is one of my favorite Gundam series, but which is my favorite Gundam Girl character from Turn A? There's not a whole lot of options. There's really only like a couple that you could really possibly feasibly guess. But it does require you to know a little bit about Turn A, which I know not a lot of people really know Turn A all that well, so you'd have to know the characters' names. But if you know, and if you know, because I've posted this before on my Facebook page, and I'm sure I've talked about it in other different videos in the past, who's my Gundam Girl of choice from Turn A? It's not Kes. Kes is not from Turn A. Who's gonna get it? Lauren is not a girl. No. It's a funny guess, but it's not correct. Sorry. Should have seen Turn A. Sorry. The black girl. I don't know which one is the black girl. There's a tannish girl. It's not Diana. Nope. It's not the cow. From Turn A. Oh, there you go. Brandon got it. Sochie. Sochie Haim. Brandon Morrison, who is also a first point recipient, which means we're still yet to have anyone that's gotten 2 points. Brandon Morrison, 1 point. Okay, Sochie Haim. I've got a couple of Sochie figures around here, but For anyone who's unfamiliar, Sochie Heim, the sister character. Yes. If you guys have not seen Turn A, then I suggest you should watch it. But for those of you who have seen it, then you should understand why she's a cool character. Unless you're Ricardo. I don't think Ricardo's watching, but he always disagrees with me about that, but that's okay. For the sword, all you have is just the one single white piece that fits over the top of the sword, blade and handle. Everything's all one bit, so that's done. Then we have the smooth bore gun next, so I'll put the pile driver parts off to the side here, so they're out of the way. So after the weapons, we'll have one more question, and then assuming that the person who correctly answers that one is also receiving their first point, at that point we'll have to have a tiebreaker. So, alright, let's build a smooth bore gun. Here, we've got this, and the handle fits into there. And this would be this part. Fits onto here for the track. And we can close that up. The gun as well is also really nicely detailed and pretty nicely part separated as well. Everything, so I mean, a lot of times, even on the master grades, you get to the weapons and it's like the weapons just aren't quite as nice as the rest of the kit. They're relatively simple, whatever, but seems to be not the case for this one. Even the weapons are really nicely done, it seems. We've got a couple parts will fit into inside here. Like that. Okay. What's the deal with this part? That's right. Should be like that. Why doesn't this work? Should close. Should put this onto here first. Doesn't really want to fit onto there. Why not? Is that not correct? It seems like it's correct. But that is like that. Oh, that doesn't fit onto there like that. Silly. It's onto here. All right. Henry's life hack there. I like that idea. Watch the live stream at 2x speed to answer the questions twice as fast. It's an interesting theory. It's worth a try. Couldn't hurt your chances, I suppose. But looks like we are going to have a little bit of a seam line here on the forward part of the barrel. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad if it's one of the few areas of the kit that's going to have a seam line. This is just one small bit. Wish that they would have just made that part of the barrel as just one piece or as a couple pieces to avoid having a seam line there, but it's a pretty small thing to complain about in general, with the majority of pretty much everything else about the kit being all very good. Like this whole main body of like the back part of the gun is goes together in a way. There's no seam lines really too much on this part. It's a little bit kind of here at the back around there, but I can't even really worry too much about that. Just some parts on the barrel, a couple of seam lines there, but not really too bad. So that extends out and folds back, and then folds back like that. Very cool. Oops, don't pull that off entirely. Swings around, slides back into there. Pretty neat. And let's see, a couple more of these. These are just connector pieces. Set those aside. Got a kind of camera here on the top. This connection piece here. Like that. And this one onto here. I skipped putting the foil stickers on the eyes, but I will put the foil stickers here on the camera. Not foil stickers, just the one sticker here for the camera. Go ahead and put this on. Just because I actually might not. Actually, I might actually just keep that and put that on the kit once it's all done, once it's all painted. Because, or I might end up using this as a stencil to cut this out of a different piece of Aurora film or something, or just use this sticker on the painted kit. So I'm just going to keep that to the side for now. Brian, thank you for your contribution, Brian. I appreciate that. And your question, how is the inner frame compared to 1/100 scale? Well, if you're coming in late, which I'm assuming you haven't seen much of the construction of the frame compared to the 1/100 scale kit is night and day. It is much more complex. Now, as for like the ultimate movement of everything seems good. Doesn't seem like it's going to have a whole lot of problems with some certain areas being loose or some certain areas like not working how they're supposed to. From what I can tell so far, the articulation seems really good, and the frame was a very complex, like intricate build. So if that's what you were wanting, then very cool. A couple people pointed this out in the unboxing video, that these parts of the mace can be removed and just used as this handheld daggers. So you can see it's just this handle part on here, which looks like these can be put into the hands. Let's see. Yeah. These, I think, will fit into the slots for the hands just right. That's the wrong way. To be handheld like this. Or like this. Yeah. So those fit there into the hands just right to be able to be held as daggers. Now, it doesn't show you that anywhere in the manual, strangely, and it surely wasn't on the box art either. So it's kind of interesting that they don't make any mention of that, but it's certainly there. These are meant, and like by the way that they've got these little grooves in there, so they're meant to fit into the slots in there in the hands. You can see they're definitely made to be as a additional weapon option. So that's pretty cool as well. So the mace, just a couple parts, and kind of tricky to get these parts to stay together while you sandwich them in here for the mace. So that's pretty awesome how when you remove these parts, the parts there on the side of the mace, if you have those removed, then it's kind of a bit more of like a halberd, right? If it's just a staff with a big blade at the end, it's just sort of a halberd, really more than a mace. But the end of that extends, and This part really only goes in a little bit like that. I guess that's maybe just to help push that out. And pop that out a little bit, and pull that out like that for the extent of that. So cool. For the time being, I'm just going to leave these in here. And I like it. Again, from the original prototype, I'm pretty sure they changed the design of the mace handle, because the original prototype had the handle like with a ton more weird, goofy detail on it. But the way that they've got it now, it seems much better. Also, you can hear it's kind of like shaking around a little bit. But that's just the parts inside there. Doesn't really seem like really loose or anything. How about the seam line? There's going to be a little bit of a seam line on those parts, but again, it's very minimal. So, like here, where's my knife? This lower part here, just right there, there's a seam line here between the two halves of the main body of the mace. A little seam line there, but that's it. So that is a wrap on the weapons. Very cool. I really like those as well. Really nicely detailed and match with the kit quite well. And the color separation on the smoothbore gun as well, like the darker and lighter tones of brown, and like the separate white parts on there, no stickers or anything for any of that. Maybe it would have been nice for a clear part for the camera, so you can have the choice whether you want to use the clear part or the stickers, like with the eyes. So maybe it would have been cool to have a clear green part there for in the camera and smoothbore gun as well. Because otherwise, as it is now, it's just a indented kind of detail there. So if you want to paint that, it's going to be a little bit trickier because there's no defined edge or line or anything for that. But I am very impressed with this kit. I'm not the biggest IBO fan out there, but I gotta say, this is a dang good master grade. And yeah, I can say I highly recommend it. So that means it's time for the final question, which hopefully someone will get correct, who's already got a point correct, so that we don't need to have a tiebreaker, but I'm thinking we're probably going to have a tiebreaker, so let's just get into it. What is the question going to be? Question is going to be... something Gundam related, or should we go something entirely not Gundam related at all? What do you guys think? Oh, all right, yeah, now if you want to set it at 2x speed, maybe your best chance to answer, but I'm just trying to think of what would be a really good question. I'm thinking, though, that I want to... Oh, okay, this will be good. I want to ask just, maybe for the last question, it's also going to be GBWC related, and then just because it's all kind of like fresh in my mind, it's kind of a hot topic of this past weekend. If we need to go into a tiebreaker, that'd be okay. But all right, so GBWC was this past weekend. So for this next question, you guys ready? What was the title of Tim's piece for GBWC? The USA champion, Tim Harkins, another co-host of Gunpla Talk. What was the title of his piece for GBWC? Who knows the answer? If you've seen it, if you know anything about it, you guys should know pretty well. What was the title that Tim used for his GWC piece? No, Dreams was the title of the winning piece from China. But Tim's piece, JV, that's close. There you go. Vincent got it, which means we're going to have a tiebreaker. All right, yeah. Vincent got it. Airdrop was the title. Vincent Lewis. Congratulations. All right, so that means we need to have a tiebreaker. So if you've already answered one of the questions correctly so far, then you can win automatically if you answer one of these tiebreaker questions. Otherwise, we're going to have to keep going until someone gets 2 points. Does that make sense? So Viz Guy Parker, Always Crashing, Daniel Blaney, IR Joe's, IR Joe 5, anyway. Jagan, Pixelman, Tyson, Brandon, Vincent. All of you guys all each have 1 point, so if any of you guys get one more point, then you'll automatically win the Master Grade Gundam Barbatos. And so, question. Morning, Adam. Let's see. Adam, you're coming in right at the end of the stream, I think. You guys over on Facebook, USA Gundam Store Boss Extraordinaire. Adam is, well, it says, at least on Facebook anyway, it says he joined. I'm just thinking of the very last question here for the first question in our tiebreaker here for the Barbatos giveaway. Even if you haven't answered one of the questions correctly already, you could still win. But just the point is, it's just going to be the first person to get 2 points. Right now, everyone so far just has either 1 or 0. The question is, shoot. Dang. This is tough. Should have maybe done a little bit more preparation, but I didn't think I was going to do it quite this style. I was thinking just to do one question. That would have been too easy, though. It would have been boring. Just one question and it's done. It's much more interesting to have a series of questions throughout the stream, right? But all right. Okay, here's one. This one also should be pretty easy, I think. Okay. For the first of the tiebreaker questions, you guys ready? Especially those of you guys who have already answered one correctly so far. You ready? Years ago, here on my channel, I did my first kind of tutorial series of building Gunpla. It was my first tutorial series where I went through all the steps of building Gunpla, including painting using the spray cans and etc. All of that. What kit did I build for that original How to Build Gunpla series that I did? What kit was that? And be very specific because there's multiple versions of this kit, so you need to be specific. Which version did I build? What kit did I use for that very first tutorial series that I did so many years ago? Who knows the answer? Assuming you guys probably all know. It's the question of who's going to answer first. Too easy. Ricky B said too easy. But if it's too easy, you should answer the question. Ah, there you go. Jordan got it, which means we don't have a winner kite yet. But no, sorry. Actually, no, he didn't say which version of that. So he got the kit, but he didn't say which version. So no. Sorry, you need to say the kit, and you need to say which version, because like, there's two different versions of the kit. You need to be specific. It's not the HG Zaku the Origin. This is a couple years before the Origin kits came out. Yeah, Ricky B is... okay, I'm gonna give it to... I'm gonna give it to Ra 8200. He said Guinea Gus custom. Ricky B said Guys custom. Guys is not, or Guys version. Guys is not the name of the guy. So the first correct answer here I'm gonna give it to is Ra 8200. It's RA 8200. Had the first full answer there. HGC Yakuzoga Guinea Gus custom. That's correct. Okay, so we don't have a winner yet. But let me just get your name down here so I can make sure I don't forget who's got points and not. Okay. Alright, so we're going to have another question. So, hang on. Not quite done yet. That means I need to think of another question, guys. Please, someone win already so I don't have to keep thinking of questions. Okay. Okay. This is not going to be Gundam related, but it is going to be model related. You will have to know about my works in progress. So I got the next question ready. Are you guys ready? This next question, you need a good memory for. A couple months ago, because it's been a little while since I last worked on this, but a couple months ago, I'm pretty sure. Let's just check to make sure. I even myself can't remember for sure how long ago it's been. No. Let me just check here. Okay, yeah, I did. This was just 6 months ago. Dang, I really need to finish this kit. I did a work in progress video 6 months ago. So this is not a kit that I finished, but 6 months ago I posted a work in progress video for this Maschinen Krieger kit. Is a Maschinen Krieger kit that I'm working on that I've yet to finish, but I posted a work in progress video for it 6 months ago, and it's still sitting unfinished. So which Maschinen Krieger kit, Mac K, which Mac K kit have I got half done in the box, still waiting to be finished? Answer that question, please. Someone who's already answered a question correctly so we can have a winner. 6-month-old work in progress on a Mac K kit. The answer is... What? What is the answer? Who could possibly know this? Oh, Daniel got it, which means Daniel is the winner. It's the Prowler. Yes. Thank you. I don't have to think of another question. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel Blaney with his second point, which makes him the winner. All right. Daniel, congratulations. It is, in fact, the Prowler. And I need to finish working on that kit. So, actually, this month, one of the things that I want to do this month is work on some more Mac K stuff. So my plan is to finish the Prowler and also start working on a different kit as well. So, I should be finishing that sometime in the near future. But yes, it is in fact, the Prowler was correct. I didn't ask for the scale of it, but yes. Gert, that's correct. It is 120 scale, but I didn't ask for the scale necessarily, so this Prowler's alright. There you go. Alright, whew! So that wraps up the quiz for the Masquerade Barbatos giveaway. Thank you once again to Patrick for supplying the kit for the giveaway. It's always cool to be able to have giveaways and stuff. I know it's exciting to win free stuff. So everyone who's been hanging out in the live stream, watching, attempting your best to answer all the questions, those of you guys who did answer the questions correctly, thank you. Thank you to those of you guys who've been hanging out, attempting to answer the questions, trying your best to win the kit. We'll try to do this more often. It was fun. I like doing this quiz thing with you guys. It's a kind of fun thing to keep us entertained here in the live stream. So I enjoy that. I'll have to do some more in the future. But for now, Daniel, congrats. Thank you to you guys for hanging out. It's going to wrap up the live stream now. I'm really hungry. I need to have some lunch, and then I'll work on the review for this guy and have the review out as soon as possible. If not tonight, then tomorrow. And then, yeah, like I said, the Japan videos are coming, as well as the 100K contest winners announcement will also be coming out. So all will be coming out probably over the course of this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. I'll see you on Monday. We'll have another live stream on Monday. Will be the next episode of Gunpla Critique. So been collecting entries from my Patreon supporters for the next Gunpla Critique video, so I've got those all organized now. So on Monday we'll have another live stream around the same time doing the next critique video, and it will actually be live streamed this time, so you guys will be able to join in the critiquing, and if the builders who are part of that can watch at the same time, they can also give the live feedback, and we can kind of have a conversation about the kits and everything, so that'll be cool. So Monday, I'll see you guys there for the live stream. In between now and then, I'll have some cool videos for you guys, hopefully, coming out, so check those out. Of the GBWC coverage, it's going to be split here on my channel, as well as the USA Gundam